That gavel, Pezza. Let's go.
All right. Councilman Di Giuseppe is unable to be here this evening, nor is Councilwoman Rodriguez, so I'm going to run the meeting tonight. So I'm going to call this regular council meeting February 11th to order. Please rise. And keep Marianne Lorenzo in your prayers. That's where Councilman Di Giuseppe is this evening. Salute the flag. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Dillon, roll call.
Mr. Gerard.
Present.
Mr. Rubio.
Present.
Mr. Devine. Mr. Pezza.
Here.
Ms. Cullen.
Here.
Ms. Rodriguez. Mr. Catroci.
Present.
Mr. Di Giuseppe.
Okay. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're
In the interest of time, I'll be somewhat brief. In our council packets and the mayor's packet, every month you get a copy of the fire chief's report and the police chief's report, or the police department's report. I know Chief Henry reported out at our last meeting that our Bucks County calls for service totaled 14,150 calls last year that the police department made. I just want to give you some other, I know everybody reads this from cover to cover, but I just wanted to just go over just a couple other facts that I think we should know. There was 245 arrests last year in Bristol Borough. 461 non-traffic citations. And as part of our focus on the community, if you look at a lot of those citations, they're in the disorderly conduct, curfew, public drunkenness. They're the totals of our, that make up about 90% of our calls. We wrote had 1,015 traffic stops. It's where the officers are walking up to cars. They don't know who's in the car. We've been very successful with those. I mean, they stop them for either they possibly went through a stop sign or didn't have a turn signal on. But we've had a few arrests this year because of those car stops and picking up some known felons, also some drugs and also weapons. I'll jump over to the fire department. One of the things that we've been talking about all year long has been the number of cardiac arrests that we have in town. During December, there was 22 EMS responses, 7 cardiac arrests, but as in a lot of these cardiac arrest cases that we're responding to, 5 of them were overdose related, and I think 2 of them were fatal, if I remember. For 2018, the fire department responded to 333 medical-related emergencies, 262 fire and rescue related emergencies in town, and for a total for the year was 748 calls. That's including the fire and emergency services. So, when we think about the fire department, we're fortunate that we have a group of our firemen who are also EMTs and are able to respond. If the squad is not able to respond right away, our guys are there to make that response. I think that's about it. I know I like to give these updates periodically, just to let everybody know what's going on within the fire department. Our last meeting, I talked about all the training that the fire department is going to be doing this year versus, relative to autism, cancer for firefighters, and a couple other things. With that, that's it.
All right, thank you. Any questions for the mayor?
Oh, one more thing. Chief Henry could not be here tonight. We have the pleasure of Patrolman Kevin Riley sitting with us tonight. I'm going to introduce him to everybody.
Okay, thank you. Public participation. Anyone on this side of the room have anything to say? Okay. Anyone on this side of the room? Come on up. State your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Jacqueline Marish. I live in the 200 block of Pond Street. I just want to say some things. No one knows I'm speaking here tonight. No one asked me to speak here tonight. No one needs to agree with anything I'm saying. No one has to respond to anything I'm saying. One only has to listen with an open mind. Being in the public eye naturally brings praise as well as criticism. Being able to understand this reality means being capable of consciously choosing one's reaction. Reacting to criticism requires an emotional maturity not always developed during adolescence and early adulthood. Presenting oneself in an emotionally mature demeanor requires inner control of one's thoughts, as well as the emotional stability not to be manipulated by another's less than mature, cognitive and emotional reasoning and disparaging remarks. Seeing these dynamics played out in the public's eye gives borough residents the ability to decide on someone's emotional fitness to serve the public's interest, or to fail that fitness test. Most people can easily recognize this dynamic on the presidential level. We can also witness it on the local level. Being in the public eye also requires one to be consciously aware of how one speaks. Hurling insults, innuendos, and unfounded challenges reveals a lack of self-awareness or a lack of emotional control. Usually, citizens prefer representatives to present themselves as emotionally mature. This brings me to the borough manager. A few years ago, I had occasion to have several meetings with the manager over a period of many months. At that time, in contrast to the former police department, the borough manager presented himself consistently as the foundation, the grounding of integrity for this borough as I have come to know it. From the initial to the final meeting I had with him, Mr. Dillon displayed professionalism, courteousness, and a gentle manner. I felt at ease discussing with him the actions I was taking. Never did he advise a certain direction that I should or should not take. His usual response was, quote, "Okay." Meetings were held in the conference room with the door to his office closed and the door to the conference room open. Meetings were held by my showing up on the second floor of the building and Mr. Dillon being open and receptive to seeing me without an appointment. At one point, he calmly made the comment, quote, "You can call rather than coming over," end quote. To which I, surprisingly, heard myself respond, quote, "My presence makes my words more powerful than stating them over the phone," end quote. To which I believe he responded, quote, "Okay," end quote. With his consistent pattern of accommodating my discussion of efforts, added to his professionalism done with ease, plus my overall admiration for how he presents as a borough manager, it is my opinion that the borough manager represents the intellectual and emotional maturity required to fulfill the many obligations, some not even required of him, which he does routinely, some without compensation. He does them because he cares. He is committed to securing Bristol's continuing successes. I offer my opinion into the public record tonight as a countervailing statement to any criticisms unjustly deserved made against him. His integrity does not need to be questioned. Borough residents are getting more than their money's worth. His trust and respect are well earned and beyond questioning. He doesn't need my nor anyone's praise. His record for lasting positive changes for this borough holds its own. Mr. Dillon serves at the discretion of the Borough Council, and the Council exercises wise judgment in serving borough residents by selecting Mr. Dillon as its borough manager. This is all I wish to say into the public record.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to accept the Treasurer's report for December 2018, to accept the Police and DJ's report for December 2018 and January of 2019, to accept the Fire Chief's report for December 2018 and January 2019, to accept the Inspection Department report for December 2018 and January 2019, to accept the Public Works Department report for December 2018 and January 2019, and to accept the HARB report and decisions of 1/28/19.
I have a second. Second by Councilman Ricchio. Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, other business? Mr.
I
Petrocchi?
just have a public service announcement. Bucks County Opportunity Council has a tax preparation service started this week, and it runs through mid-April. It's at their new building at the Veterans Highway, the old Planned Parenthood building next to near Ordini's Pools. And this is for low-income families, and also families where the English language might be a barrier for them. So they will work with the people. They have volunteers that come in and do this. And you can go on to www.bcoc.org. So I just want to let everyone know that. And just one other thing. Today, the borough had a meeting with the school district. Mr. Polyafico and Mr. Rusin were there, along with their manager and their groundskeeper and some of the other employees. They're going to be involved in the field maintenance. I think we've got everything ironed out where there's not going to be any interruption in service. So all the activities, barring something unseen, but as far as on the school board and the borough's end, I think we have it all ironed out. We've got the people lined up and approved, and insurances all in place. So I want to thank the school board and the members and the borough people that were there today, and our engineer. Everyone was very helpful, and it's after 50-some years, it's a little change of plans. It makes it a little difficult trying to make sure we're doing everything to make this the most beneficial season for the interscholastic people, and also our little league and minor leagues and the various t-ball leagues. So everything looks like it's in good shape, so we're ready to roll.
Very good to hear.
I think we're all very happy with that. I don't think anybody wants to see kids get hurt in this, so I'm glad to hear it. Yep, Mr. Dillon?
Before council adjourns, Mr. Ricchio or Mr. Gerard, will you be seeing Mr. Devine in the near future? I have the packet for the sewer authority meeting tomorrow.
I'll drop that over to his house for you, Jim.
Will you? Okay,
Yes, sir.
so that way he has it
I'll
in
grab
case he
it.
wants.
I'll grab it after the meeting. Yes, sir.
And
Thank
we're
you.
working on the other 11 months for him, but,
Okay, I will drop that tonight.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Salerno? Anything? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second by Mr. Ricchio. Close the meeting.
Be a new record.
Promise all these meetings will be this short.